to wake up and go to school at 8 in the morning and stay at 3:30? Wouldn't you want to go back to where you had only time for homework? Wouldn't you want to go back to where you felt like love was nothing? Or would you want to go back to where you had your first breakup and all you wanted to say is, I still love him, I still love him, but he break up with me? Would you want to call him and say, I still love you, baby? Or you want to stay where you are and be who you are today?
It's not funny anymore. Hey, that was Katie. Make some noise for Katie, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, if anybody, hey, bye, call me. She just flipped me off. What? I'm just kidding. Hey, do you guys know about your mama jokes? Anybody have some good your mama jokes?
Yeah.
If anybody can out your mama joke me, I will give them this prop that I stole from backstage. It is not mine. So who has a good your mama joke? Who?
Tim.
Tim, you got some good your mama jokes? Tim, you got a good your mama joke? You got a good your mama joke? Dominique, you got a good your mama joke? You want to hear some of your mama jokes? Curtis? Curtis, you got a good your mama joke?
That's Curtis. Curtis is over here.
Hi, Curtis. You're both wearing hats. I'm just looking for the hat. I'm sorry. I'm not going to show her your mama joke then. Want to know my favorite your mama joke? Your mama's so fat, and you guys say, how fat is she? Ready? Your mama's so fat.
How fat is she?
She jumped in there and got stuck. Your mama's so fat.
How fat is she?
Takes her 2 trips to haul ass. Your mama's so, no, that's stupid. Your mama's so stanky. I love just hearing you say how stanky is she. She used Secret and it's old. Is that old? Oh, here, you win the pink flamingo. She's like, I'm gonna sue! So, here's another poem. So, I travel a lot, and I usually don't have time to, I just don't have a chance to actually meet people or date them and stuff, because I'm always traveling. I meet all these nice people all over the country, but, it takes me a while to get to know somebody before I want to, date them or whatever, and it just takes me a while. And, I'm on tour so much that when I come home, I don't even know anybody anymore. So it makes it really hard for me to find somebody to date, so I'm usually not dating anybody. And here's a poem I wrote about that. It's called Pretty Girls Make Me Sad. It's true. Ugly girls make me sad too. It's just a different kind of sad. Are you reading my book?
No, it's upside down.
It is.
You read upside down?
You want to know how I do? What's your name?
Serena.
Serena, where do you go to school?
I go to BB.
You go to BV? You have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
You have a boyfriend? Are you close? Do you like him on?
They're just talking.
Are you just talking? Because could we just make out sometime? He's not good. He's not good at making out, is he? He's not. She just went like this. And he made me mess up place. He's like, I will never invite you here. It's called Pretty Girls Make Me Sad. Oh, what I do is I write only on this side of the page until I get to the end of the book, and then I flip it over, and then I write on the other side of the page all the way back. So it's because the pens I use have a lot of ink in them, and they'll smear but it's to keep them from smearing. Pretty girls make. Are you sure you guys are happy? Because you don't look happy together at all. In fact, he was like, You did, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
He's like, I'm gonna kill you. Alright. This is a poem called Pretty Girls Make Me Sad. Mine is the art of the awkward pause, the comedy of mortification, the joy of realizing you have no idea what to do next. I am the king of unrequited love, the prince of crushes, the emperor of yearning from afar. I am in love with everything, and scatter pieces of my broken heart all over this country, hoping one day I can follow their trail home. But the moment they touch the ground, a poem sprouts, and birds make nests in their leafy words. I have planted forests that pulse and throb with the rhythm of my blood. I am Johnny Appleheart, and I am lost amongst these trees. And the wind whistles through the holes in my chest. If I twist just right, it sounds like the most beautifully sad music, so painfully lovely, so horribly alive, this symphony of sighs. I spend more time looking at the tips of my toes than I do the face of the moon, and I spend more time on both than I do looking people in the eyes. It didn't used to be this way. I am clumsy around girls. I never know what to say. They just smell so good. I flirt with mixtapes and poetry and have no idea what a first date is. I always have to ask, is this a first date? It hardly ever is. I hug every girl I meet so I can share heartbeats with someone, even for a moment. I've fallen deeply in love with 106 girls who are absolutely perfect for me, except for one fatal flaw. They didn't love me back. I keep hoping for someone to cross a crowded room and stand brazenly before me and reach out and hold my face in her palms and smile with her eyes and say, "There you are. I have been looking everywhere for you. Now that I have found you, I promise to never let you out of my sight." But no one ever does. I'm a little kid lost in the mall and crying, clutching at the hems of passing skirts and mouthing the name of someone I've never met. "Are you my true love?" "No," said the steam shovel, "I am not your true love." Y'all remember that book? "Oh, sweet heart attack, where are you? Follow my poems home to me, my scallywag, my succotash, my sweet potato pie. I am so tired." So, here's a couple more, and then we're done. I was going to college in Northern California, and I was doing poetry readings all the time. And in my little college town, it's called Chico. Anybody ever heard of Chico?
Yeah.
Chico State University? Woo, party school. It's in Northern California, and everybody's really cool, and everybody's really cute, nice, and stuff. And I ran this poetry reading where I was the host, and I would always look into the crowd and see all these people. But I had this rule: I was not going to allow myself to date anybody who would come to my poetry readings, because I just didn't think it was right. It felt weird and gross to use the microphone to sort of date somebody or something. It was just weird. But this one time, this amazingly cute girl was in the front row, and I was just, oh my God. She just kept looking at me, and I would just lose my place and just stare back into my book, and every time I would look up, she'd be looking at me, and I'd go, oh my God, she's totally looking at me. And she was the most beautiful girl I think I might have ever seen looking at me in my entire life. I was so nervous and scared and stuff. And then after the poetry reading, I walked up to her and I was like, "Hey," and she was like, "Hey," and I was trying to get the courage to ask her for her phone number, and I was just about to say it, and she goes, "Here's my phone number," and I was like, yes, because that never happens. It's always like, "Can I get your phone number?" "No," or but she gave me her phone number and said, "You should call me sometime." And I was like, maybe I will. So I gave her a call the next day. But that night, when I went home from the poetry reading, I wrote this poem for her. Her name is Jen, by the way. This is called Crushworthy. I want someone to have a crush on me for a change. To notice when I don't come to class and wonder if I'm okay. To get nervous when I enter the cafe. To fumble with her papers and books. To pick at her clothing and check her reflection in salt shakers and napkin holders. To catch her breath when she sees me from across campus. Tug on her best friend's collar and point with her eyes and whisper loudly, "There he is, Big Papa E." To run around the block as quickly but as nonchalantly as possible just so she can walk past me, make eye contact, and smile. To look into my big brown eyes, such long lashes, from across the room and think, yes. To look at my full kissing lips and think, oh yes. To hear my voice and imagine how her name would sound if I said it, if I whispered it, if I want someone to make up nicknames for me, to talk about me in code. Oh yeah, I saw Backpack Boy today in the library, in the romantic lit section. I saw Steel-Toed Boots Boy talking to some girl today in the bookstore. I want someone to go home, straight home every night, and check her answering machine, just in case, and check the phone cord, and check the battery, and check the tape, and make sure the damn blinking light isn't burned out, just in case I call. I want someone to say, you're wrong about him, because you don't know him the way I know him. Because she can tell I'm a good person. Must be a good person. I gotta be a good person because I write poetry about my grandma and my cats, and because she likes me so much for some reason. Some unexplainable psychic supernatural reaction to me. Me. I want someone to mark her calendar, he talked to me today. To wonder what I would smell like after a long, warm sleep under a down comforter. To close her eyes and picture what our kids would look like. To write silly, wretched, wonderful poetry about me for a change. So, I called her the next day. I was like, so, I was really nervous. But I'm like, so, and she's like, hey, how's it going? So we're talking on the phone, and she invites me to her birthday party in like 3 days. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. So the first time we ever hang out is at her birthday party. So it's with every single person she knows in the entire room. It's packed with people who know her. And I walk in, and everybody's staring at me because they know I'm that poetry guy that she gave her number to. So everybody was like, hey, what's up with you? And asking me questions and stuff. I was being checked out all night. It was a little nerve-wracking, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, have my soda, and like, hey, and she's like, from across the room, hey, you know, we don't really have a chance to talk or anything. And then like slowly but surely, more people leave until finally it's just the two of us. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I was so nervous. I'm like talking, saying all these stories and trying to be charming and trying to be cool. And she just is not saying anything. She's just kind of just sitting on her futon couch going, no, she wasn't drunk. No, she didn't drink. She's just like this. She's drunk with my love. She's just looking at me. And I was looking at her and I thought to myself, I think she wants me to kiss her. So I was really nervous. So I did. I reached over and I kissed her. And it was like that perfect first kiss. Like, have you had the kiss where you're like, what the hell are you doing with your mouth? Like who taught you how to, what are you doing? Get away! You're like, who taught you how to kiss that? Or you're like, you just don't know how these people learn how to kiss. Like, what the heck are you doing? Right? That's mostly what first kisses are like. But this was like our mouths were made to kiss each other. You know what I'm saying? And it was amazing. And then she said, so I should probably break up with my boyfriend, huh? And I was like, yeah. So she did, and we dated for 6 months. We dated for 6 months over the summer, and it was wonderful, and it was awesome, and it was drama-free, and we used to go to long road trips and do poetry readings in San Francisco all the time, and she liked Dave Matthews Band, and so every single time we would go on a road trip, she put in like 6 CDs of the Dave Matthews Band, and I was allowed to have like 1 CD in the changer, and it would be like 9 Inch Nails or something. It would be something completely not Dave Matthews Band. And then we came to the end of the summer, and I don't know, I was kind of thinking about seeing my ex-girlfriend again, and she was kind of thinking about getting back with her boyfriend again, so we were like, well, that's about it. We're good. We're good, right? We're good. And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, we can be friends and everything. She's like, yeah. And that had never happened before. It had always been like, you try, it doesn't work, and you end up hating each other, and you're not friends anymore, and when you see each other, you're like, just give each other stink eye. But this was like, it's just, we're good. We had exactly what we needed to have, and now it's time to move on. It was awesome. And a month later, she died in a car accident.
Oh.
Yeah, just like that. We'd come back from the National Poetry Slam in '99, and my team from San Francisco won. Out of 48 teams at the National Poetry Slam, which is kind of like the Olympics of poetry, our team won. We were on the front cover of the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Chicago Sun-Times, the Los Angeles Times, Chicago. It was amazing. 60 Minutes did a story. It was huge. We were like freaking rock stars coming back to the Bay Area. And so we had made this great big gigantic celebration poetry reading, and she was going to come, and all of our friends were going to come, and she died in a car accident that morning. So I was about to perform, and this was before I had a cell phone, so I was on a payphone calling my girlfriend that I had gotten back with, and she's like, gave me the news, and I had to perform in front of 700 people knowing that she just died that morning. It was jacked up, man. I stopped writing. I just couldn't process it, man. She was so beautiful and amazing. She was like the most beautiful person in the room. Like when you're at a party and there's like that center of attention where you know the party isn't going to start until they get there. That was her. And it took me 8 months to write a poem about it. And I finally did. It's called "There's a Hole in My Heart in the Shape of Her Smile That Will Never Be Filled." And it's for Jen. It is a long title. I will never forget the last sentence of the article in the newspaper the next day. The terrible crash pancaked the tiny Honda Civic. It rattled our minds as we ran our fingers across the gouges in the pavement, our eyes squinting through 1,000 glaring pinpricks from windshield fragments, searching for lucky pennies, scattered, hundreds of them, from her broken penny jar. The terrible crash pancaked the tiny Honda Civic. That sentence robbed us of closure. We weren't allowed to marvel at the mortician's handiwork. She looks like she's asleep. We couldn't cup her lifeless hand, powdered and colored with an artist's touch, and confirm that it was true, that it actually really had happened. No, the terrible crash pancaked the tiny Honda Civic, and they wouldn't even run photos because it's a family newspaper, and you can't run photos like that in a family newspaper. We had to just agree, nod our heads in unison, and agree that she was gone and would never be back, this precious flower plucked in mid-blossom. And we held each other and remembered her as we had last seen her, pink and alive and smiling that big thumbs-up smile. And we were warmed by the knowledge that if anyone could have changed the world, she could have. She would have had she only been given the chance. But now, we'll always feel like she's out there, somewhere, always at the corner of our eyes. In the summer sea of spaghetti straps and backpacks, tan lines and smiles, she will be there. And we'll turn our heads, catch our breath, and see nothing. I think about that last sentence every time I drive. It echoes in my brain as I near the spot on the 4-lane highway where she crossed the median and died. Picture the time of day, around 11 a.m. The sun was out, the sky was blue, there was no rain. She was driving alone. She was probably smoking. She was listening to James Taylor's greatest hits. We know this because the tow crew pried that CD from what was left of her stereo. and I grip my wheel white-knuckled as I near the spot. And I can't help counting down the time she had left, and she didn't even know it was coming. It was a bright sunny day, and she was singing. And just like that, we are past it. And the scars on the pavement are left behind. And just like that, we are past it. And the white cross we left in the grass on the embankment is left behind. And just like that, we are past it. And the lucky pennies, and the photos, and the little good luck tokens, and the letters, and the constellations of shattered windshield are left behind. Just like she was left behind. The headline should not have read, Chico State University student killed in car crash. No. The headline should have shouted in capital letters across the front page, Jennifer Lynn O'Hare kicked so much ass. She was a poetess, a priestess, a goddess, a feminist, a fighter, a lover, a laugher, a teller of truths, a spinner of midnight balcony tales shrouded in Heineken and Camels. She could break down Brian Johnson's male chauvinist arguments with the precision of a surgeon, hurling words like patriarchal and misogyny and hegemony in a rapid-fire distillation of everything she had learned in women's studies classes. We almost felt sorry for Brian as she leaned towards him on the edge of her stool, pointing with a glowing cherry of a lit cigarette. She was a god-awful drummer, but a very enthusiastic drummer, a deep and passionate kisser, a liver of life, a lover of all things, not the best of students, but the best of teachers, a mentor, a sister, a daughter, a confidant, a friend, my friend. These words should have been displayed on the pages of every newspaper in the world, but they were not. Most people in this world probably didn't even realize their loss. And I feel sorriest for all of those people. You people. Those of you who never had the chance to meet her because Jen was that cool. The last sentence in this poem is how I will remember Jennifer Lynn O'Hare. This world is a better place for having Jen in it, even if it was only for 20 years. Thanks. Anybody know what time it is? 9:10. 9:12. 9:11. So I think we're just about good. Can you turn the house lights up, please? Give yourselves an applause. You just went through a 2-hour poetry reading. Make some noise. Like I said, I have CDs over here. Give me anything. I'll give you a copy of it. Before we go, does anybody have any questions that they want to ask about my stuff or anything else? If you want to go to my website, it's bigpapae.com. It has all my junk on it. I no longer do MySpace or Facebook because I think they're stupid. So all my stuff is on bigpapae.com. But anybody have any questions? Two more questions. 2 questions. Yes.
What influenced you to write poetry?
She asked me what influenced me to write poetry. You know what's interesting? Nobody's going to document your life. Like if you don't write it down, it'll be like it never existed. So it's up to you. If you want to leave a mark on this planet, it's up to you to do something that people will remember. If you want to build something or make something or accomplish something, it's all on you. And I got to the point where I wanted to leave something behind. And I started wanting to describe these feelings in my stomach, and I just couldn't. I was so frustrated, and I knew so many other people who were frustrated at not being able to express themselves. So when I finally forced myself to do it, it seemed like people could understand it. I don't know, it was just like I was good at it. And I would do it, and somebody would read it, and it would fill them with that same feeling that I had. And we would start this conversation. We would make this connection with writing. And it was like, wow, I'm not the only one. I'm not the freak. I'm not the person, the only person who thinks about these things in the middle of the night and can't fall asleep, you know? And it was awesome. And the more I started reading poetry and writing poetry, the more of these connections I made. And it was like the most human and amazing thing I could do. So I did it because I was yearning for that connection and to express myself. I think anybody, if you write lyrics, if you write rhymes, if you write anything, even if it's just a good email that expresses yourself, save it, because that stuff is important. That's what got me to do it, yes.
What was one of your failures as well as one of your things that you feel is what, can get it out?
It's all good.
Okay.
Greatest triumph, greatest failure?
Hey.
And he's like, let me take this out of my pocket real quick. I was recording this on my iPod. Hold on a second. God, greatest failure, greatest triumph. God, it gets right down to the heart of it all, doesn't it? You know, I guess my greatest failure is not being close enough to my family. Because me and my dad used to butt heads growing up, and man, I said and did mean things, and he said and did mean things, and as soon as I was able to get out of the house, I was like, that's it. You can just kiss my butt. I'm never coming back. I'm not going to talk to you ever again. And that was a choice I made. And it's the same choice he made with his dad, and the same choice his dad made with his dad. It's just like something you do when you're a poor redneck living in California. You tell your old man to kiss your butt and go home. Or you leave home and you never come back. And there was a long time where we didn't talk. And I felt really distant from my family. And that was a choice I made. It wasn't just because, oh, he was stupid. Well, he was stupid when I was 15, but once you get to be about 20, 25, 30, and you're still blaming stuff on your dad that he did when he was 15, it's no longer his fault, it's your fault, you know? So I think I let too much time pass before I decided I actually do want a relationship with my parents. And then I made the conscious effort to just put all that stuff aside and just accept him for the fragile human being he is, you know? So I'd say that's my greatest failure. And maybe my greatest triumph is finally getting to the point where I was like, I don't need to hold him accountable for all this stuff. I don't need to have him say sorry for being such a jerk. I'll just accept him for who he is. So maybe that's my greatest triumph and my greatest failure at the same time. Yeah. All right, what's the next thing we're doing? It's something at 9:30, right? What's at 9:30? Oh, you guys want to come up? Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm done here. Please give yourselves a great big hand. Thank you so much for coming.
Okay, for all of our CLC participants, our next activity is Kings Point Water Park. Everyone will be going. If you don't choose to swim, you still will be going. So everyone will be going there. You are to go ahead and go with your host. Host should be here already. You need to be at the bell at 9:45 p.m. Okay? College students, you need to carpool over there. You will not be allowed to ride in the vans to Kings Point. So all high school students need to be at the bell at 9:45. So tell your host to have you at the bell at 9:45.
Put it right there, whatever it is. So it's this one. That's got cussing on it, so which one's the one that we're playing? Next, this is the stuff without cussing on it. This is stuff with cussing on it. They're both funny, they're both romantic, so it really depends on which one you want. If you pick the one with cussing on it, don't. Yeah, go ahead. What? Yeah, go ahead. Don't get me in trouble. But enjoy it. And share it with everybody.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. It's funny, dude. You guys helped me make the show funny. You got some like. Yeah, please take it. And that one's without cussing, and that's with cussing. So I'll let you have the choice which one you would like. Spread the word. You got a blog. But don't get me in trouble if you pick the one without cussing. Hey, how are you? You should make a blog. I just made one myself. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm just like, people read it. They read it. You don't know, but people read it. Let me get a picture of you and him. Oh yeah, I need a picture too. Ain't that something? Sweet. Hey girl, leave. Can I get a picture? Okay, let's get a picture. Okay, let's get it. Take the picture. Okay.
That's not normal.
What? The third one is learning something new about, or something new and getting into. Hey.
What's up, man? You alright? You doing good?
Thank you so much for being cool.
Man, you be tired early.
You should have told me.
Back up straight.
I'm good. Oh, heck yeah.
Man, you family. I ain't even got no picture.
Your face is perfect for me to hit it. Don't move. She's a soccer player.
That's funny.
That's a great picture.
You want to picture this? Of course. I do.
Which one's better, Eric?
Hey, if y'all participants, y'all might want to hurry up.
Well,
And get to the van.
in green.
You want a picture?
has no cussing on
You
it.
buying something?
This one has a couple of cuss words on it.
Hey, Matt,
So I will allow you to make your own choice.
you should hurry up.
They're both really good.
Okay, you going to the King's Point?
Let me get a picture.
I'll take it from there to the King's Point.
You gotta make yourself look sharp. There you go. There you go, like this.
You did good.
Thank you. That was so good. I did. That was really good. I liked it a lot. Do you want to go to the water park today, or are you heading back to the yes, I don't know. Do whatever you need to do here.
No, it's gonna take me 5 minutes to throw everything away.
Okay. And then tomorrow morning, Jen Ruler picked you up at the airport. He's gonna pick you up at 8 a.m.
You're gonna take forever. I don't know what to say.
They're both good.
I tried to be uplifting but saucy, but also.
It was good.
Like the
They
pretty
needed that. They had a real good session with our coach.
You better chop. She gotta go.
It was good. Good way to end the evening. So we'll go hang out. Watermelon. Park style.
Alright,
Hey, Chantel, you need any help? So my job is to show up. Or you need to wait for the van to check you for.
I might. Yes, I do. Would you like it?
Yeah,
Did you have fun?
I had a great time.
Oh,
Are they
excellent.
the same?
They are not. This one has some cussing on it. This has zero. So,
What's like particularly sad? Oh, is that's just that one poem you read? Or
oh, this is the name of the whole album, but it's
Oh.
like relationship stuff and funny stuff.
And this one?
Same thing. Pretty much, they're the same type of album. This is just with cussing and without cussing.
Okay.
So it's just make your choice of the music because they're both really good. Awesome. And listen to it and tell me what you think. My website's on there, so email me and tell me what you think.
Oh, did you really write this?
Yeah, with my pen.
Wow, yes, they did. Wow.
It took forever. But I didn't have any printer ink, so I had no choice.
Have you ever thought of what kind of computer do you have?
Mac?
See if you have an HP, you can use LightScribe. Just put the CPU over and they'll like use a laser.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually have them professionally printed, but I just didn't have enough time.
Just use last night or something.
Yeah, I did in the hotel. I was like, oh man, I forgot to print out labels, so I did it like that.
Are all these? Did you write all these?
Yeah.
Are they yours?
Yeah, these are mine here and here. This is with cussing and without cussing. I usually do it like that so I can, when I do my high school shows, I can have a nice. Exactly. Like tonight was my no cussing, although I said ass.
Yeah.
I said biatch too. But usually that's what I do. Which one would you like?
I grabbed this one.
Okay.
Let's see. What did you major in?
My major was journalism.
Journalism?
Yeah. And